Hey guys, Deathslayer Magic here with some very exciting spoilers from M19. The first one is crazy. It's Crucible of Worlds. Even I've heard of this card. I don't know what it goes in. Probably something weird because it is very narrow. It's a very obscure card that does something extremely not useful. But that said, it was printed in 5th Dawn and 10th edition, and those are both $75 retail right now. Hello. So the M19 version is currently pre-ordering on Card Kingdom for $50. I think that might be a little bit high because this is standard we're talking about. There will be more than a couple of these floating around. So whatever deck this goes in whatever format it's played right now, I'm not sure. It might be multiple. It seems a little specific, but I will say, I mean, in standard, it's not exactly lacking in value. So it's a 3-cost artifact, says you may play land cards from your graveyard. So obviously if you cycled a land into your graveyard and then drew a card, you could then play the land. That's pretty nuts. I mean, you still got to pay the cycle cost, but, you know, whatever. And also you could play an Evolving Wilds every single turn. So it would just go back to your graveyard, then you, play it directly from the graveyard, sack it again, go get another basic land, do it once per turn. And then there are cards that let you drop multiple lands per turn. So if you wanted to get nuts with it, here's your nuts card. As for what to do with that much mana, I mean, right now mana ramp is very easy to do. I mean, you can get, 15, 20 mana in a heartbeat in a lot of different decks. Torment of Hailfire, I've seen that. Walking Ballista, those are really the only two I can think of. I mean, I guess you could throw out like Nissa, the X-Nissa with a bunch of counters and alter immediately. Oh boy. Jaca's Immolating Inferno, if you had legendaries. There's not much more, really. But that said, I mean, Torment and Walking Ballista are no joke. So I think between the older formats and this being somewhat popular in some standard decks, I think it'll maintain a good price, but 50 is just not going to happen. I'd actually call a $50 pre-order on that card an outright scam because it's going to hit 20 bucks. So by the way, I think I didn't say this at the beginning, but this video is going to cover really expensive reprints, any of the new mythics, and interesting rares and just interesting cards. So just noteworthy spoilers, I guess. So next up we have Dark Dweller Oracle. This is not a reprint. You're probably thinking of Goblin Dark Dwellers. This is a goblin that also is a Dark Dweller, and that artwork looks really familiar, but it's actually not a reprint. But it is pre-ordering at $3, and I think that's appropriate because this will help out burn a lot. Because if you pay 2, and it's a 2/2 for 2 already, but I should say if you pay 1, you can sacrifice a creature and do this multiple times per turn. Exile the top card of your library, you may play that card this turn, but only this turn. You still pay its costs and whatever. But it does say play, not cast. They actually put that in the reminder text. You can play a land, but only if you have an available land to play remaining. That's a weird way to phrase it, but you get where they're going with it. But yeah, if you're just looking for more, burn spells and you don't need more creatures, or they've just got a line of Death Touchers, so now you need burn spells instead of creatures, convert them. And plus, if you had recurring, like servo generation or something, you could just keep sacking them over and over and over and just get like a land every 3 turns. So this looks pretty good. Next up, we've got Elvish Clan Collar. It's a 2 green 1/1, and other elves you control get +1/+1. I am so sick of these stupid tribal boost all-in-one creatures. Everybody hates them. They make tribal decks completely out of control. I hate everything about this. It's already pre-ordering at $4. With Marwyn and Llanowar, elves are going to be a thing. And by the way, you can pay 6 tapper and search your library for a card named Elvish Clan Collar, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Wonderful! You can go get the rest of them. Awesome. Do yourself a favor, just build a name jamming deck and then name this. If they're playing elves, just name the card. Now, if you're new here, I hate all elf decks. I hate elves. They're basically slivers, in my opinion. They're overpowered, they always have been, and I hate them. This just made it even worse, so I hate this card. So let's move on. We've got Lathliss, Dragon Queen. Now she's a 6/6 flyer for 6, another one of the dragons from the storyline, I guess. And 6 cost is virtually unplayable. I mean, she better be damn well worth it, but she is flying, so that's cool. And whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. So you can cast 1 dragon and just win, because you got her, you got the other dragon, then you got the token. You could swing for like 15. But wait, there's more. Pay 2 as many times as you want, and dragons you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Here's your new commander. So this is already pre-ordering at $4. I think that might actually be a little bit low. I don't know how many people are really building like dragon decks. And if they do, it's like, yeah, she's could be your dragon commander, and a lot of dragons are red, but not all of them, so limiting it to just one color is a little bit rough. That said, would I drop her into like a 3-color dragon deck? Yeah, absolutely. So, I don't know. This card looks pretty good though. So next up we've got this wonderful foreign card. Thanks for that, Wizards. Really appreciate it. So it may be called Magistrate's Scepter. It's a 3-cost artifact, and you pay 4, tap it, put a charge counter on Magistrate's Scepter, and then you can tap it at any time and remove 3 charge counters from Magistrate's Scepter. Take an extra turn. An extra turn card that doesn't get exiled? I'm sure nobody will ever abuse that or find a way to artificially drop charge counters on it. No, that'll never happen. Well, not in Standard at least. Whatever, setting up that kind of combo would be virtually impossible, and what are you going to do with the infinite turns anyway? It's just, I hate extra turn cards. They're just stupid. And by the way, this is a reprint from Mercadian Masks, and it's only $2 even in that set, so apparently nobody's cracked that nut yet. So next up, we've got Palladia-Mars the Runer at Mythic. It's a legendary creature, Elder Dragon. Fantastic. Love that artwork. Nice armor, bro. So Palladia-Mars the Runer is a new card, but Palladia-Mars is not. He or she, I'm not even sure at this point, was on a card from Legends. Wasn't a particularly great card. I mean, the Chronicles version is 60 cents, but the Legends one is $33. So that's interesting. We're not going to go into that. Let's look at this card and just, see what it is. Well, it's a 3-color, so that's already crap. People do play those colors, though. Big old Mexican flag there. So it's a 6/6 for 6. Big surprise is what all the dragons are, apparently. Flying Vigilance Trample, that's always a fun combination. And it has Hexproof if it hasn't dealt damage yet. So you have to wait for it to deal damage, then it drops Hexproof. Wonderful. Partial Hexproof. Very annoying. Yeah, you get this out, it's going to be damn hard to deal with, but if they have a removal spell, they're just going to get hit for 6 one time and then blow this up. So it's not that great of an ability. It's annoying. By the way, spoiler alert, it says on the bottom, Sister of Nicol Bolas. Okay, well, I mean, I guess all the dragons from the chapter 1 of the storyline are technically siblings, although they already said the ones that fell on the further mountain were cousins. I don't know how that works either. I'd like to see like a chart of that, but in the meantime, okay, I'll take the word for it. But it says survivor of the Elder Dragon War. I don't remember if that's established history or not at this point. But she is the most vicious of her kin. Oh, and apparently she's a female. Wonderful. Well, since this is just sheer power, it's already pre-ordering at $7. I feel like that's high. I think the usability in Standard is extremely limited, and only people running some kind of other format dragon deck would run this. It's almost limited to Commander only. I mean, I guess you could make it your Commander, but it's not that great. I don't know. Looks like a dollar card to me, so I don't know what they're getting at with that. Next up, Resplendent Angel. So you're probably thinking, well, that has to be a reprint. That sounds familiar. Sorry, Resplendent Griffin and Resplendent Mentor are the only other two. Yeah, I know, it fooled me too. So get this. Right now, it's pre-ordering at $20, and it's, quote, out of stock. That's on Card Kingdom's website, at least. So did people buy up all of these already? Or did they just not want to sell any in case it goes up even higher? Which doesn't make sense. I mean, you're setting the price. If you think 20 is too low, set it at 30. And if nobody pre-orders it, great. So this does cost 3. It's a 3/3 for 3 flyer, which is already insane. And it's an angel. That's cheap for an angel. Oh, God, let's see what this does. I haven't actually read it yet. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, oh my God, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. So in other words, just win the game. And then if you pay 6 with triple white in there, until end of turn, Resplendent Angel gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink. Oh my gosh, this would go in a Crested Sunmare semi-ramp deck. Just life gain, stall, and crush them in combat. I mean, this card's probably worth $20. Huge money, huge power, absolute automatic include in any kind of angel deck. And honestly, it's a standalone in a non-angel tribal life gain deck. So yeah, I could see why this would be completely bonkers. By the way, between these and dragons, you gotta kind of wonder if the card Heaven is gonna go up, because that just nukes flyers. Next up, huge mythic reprint, it's Scape Shift. Once again, this looks awfully narrow. I have absolutely no idea what this is played in whatsoever. It's got to be something kind of weird. But it's a 4-cost green sorcery that says sacrifice any number of lands, search your library for up to that many land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Wow, neither one of those say basic, so I could see this doing something really weird with like man lands or something. Once again, I don't really know what this is played in, but apparently something expensive because it's $40 a copy. I mean, on the surface, it's like, oh crap, I've got all the wrong colors out. Let's cast this. Like, how often would that happen? And if it does, build your mana base better. I think this is a little bit more specific. And of course, there's that other card that lets you play lands from your graveyard. And this says sacrifice lands. You can see where I'm going with this. Now, the problem with this is, I mean, it looks cool and all. Like, oh boy, land dump deck. But people didn't really play land dump decks that much, even when landfall was in standard. So now you'd be playing it just for the mana. I mean, there's no ETB effect on lands that I know of right now. So honestly, I think it's kind of slow, kind of late, and kind of weak. I mean, I don't think there's that much you could do with this in standard. I mean, maybe go get a couple deserts. Ooh, who cares? If you went and got like 4 Shafet Dunes and then you had like 16 lands in play, yeah, you could boost your creatures into like Oblivion, but that's awfully specific and a little bit narrow and just weird. So I don't know. This version is pre-ordering at $25, and I have no idea if that'll go up or down. I feel like it'll go down. I mean, this card has practically no actual practical use. So finally, gotta throw this in here. Ajani's Last Stand. It's a rare, it's double white, it's an enchantment, costs 4. Whenever a creature or planeswalker you control dies, you may sacrifice Ajani's Last Stand. If you do, create a 4/4 white avatar creature token with flying. When a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, if you control a planes, create a 4/4 white avatar creature token with flying. So a 4/4 flyer ain't no joke. Now I picked this out because 1, the artwork's awesome and it shows Ajani fighting Bolas, which is the best thing ever. And 2, because this is like a delayed 4/4 white flying creature for 4. Which, you know, that's just crap. Why don't you just throw in a card that is a 4/4 flyer for 4 right away? I don't have an answer for you, but it would be cool if they blew up on your planeswalkers or creatures and then you know, had this out, because then you get right back in it. I mean, the only thing I could really see this doing is playing against a board wipe, because it would be like one step later than the board wipe and then boom, you're back with a 4/4 flyer. But honestly, I would prefer to just throw in a 4-cost creature. This just seems a little bit weird. Maybe it's a sideboard card. I mostly included it because of the artwork. Oh, and because I like cats. So what do you think of this much money and this much power? I mean, right off the bat, you can pull, what, a $40, $50 card or whatever out of M19? Although we'll see if those prices actually hold up. That's always fun in Standard. It's just a lot of these cards don't look terribly playable in Standard. This looks like a Modern Masters set or an Eternal Masters. So they turned Battlebond into Eternal Masters, but that makes sense. I mean, that's kind of what Conspiracy 2 was. But I mean, this is to me the equivalent of putting Mycosynth Lattice in Battlebond. It has nothing to do with the storyline. It makes no sense. It's just, here, money card. Yay. Now this is a core set. The storyline could be whatever the hell it wants to be. It could jump all over. So I guess technically any card fits to the story. But to throw stuff like Scapeshift into Standard when it doesn't really do anything, it just seems odd. It's kind of a waste of a Mythic spot. But they, you know, shoehorned a bunch of money into it. So it feels very odd to me, but I will say that, you know, people are going to keep opening boxes until they're like sub 110 EV usually. Because after shipping and fees, anything below 110, they're going to stop opening them because they will lose money. So if you put a bunch of, you know, $20, $30, $40, $50 cards from past formats into Standard sets, people are going to open and open and open it until, you know, Scapeshift is like $10, and then at that point, okay, fine, you know, we'll stop opening them. Well, the side effect is, you know, mid-range to even popular rares will get suppressed down to like $2. I mean, if something's hyper popular and people want it, it's going to be worth nothing because people are continuing to open these boxes just to get Scapeshifts. So that should make it very interesting. Although I will say the EV of Dominaria right now is crap. It's like $95, a little bit less actually, and it's got Teferi and Karn in it. Hey, wait till you see the EV when Karn gets banned. That'll be pretty good. Oh, let me just warn everybody right now, because then I can say I told you so twice as often. If you drop $200 to play a control draw, just garbage, you know, control spam shit deck, you bring that to F&M to maybe take first and get a couple $3 booster packs, you are never going to make your money back. Your deck is pissing people off. You're an asshole for playing it. You're ruining everybody else's time who's trying to play real decks. And this is your last warning to sell the Karns and disassemble the deck before you lose $200, because you are about to lose $200. Karn has bare minimum a 50-50 shot at this point of being banned, okay? If you are going to continue to ignore the warnings and be an asshole and play your stupid, broken, overpowered, overpriced shit, You deserve to lose $200 when the card is banned, okay? That is on you. It is 100% your fault. Have fun putting Karn into your 4 different commander decks. Now you can't say I didn't warn ya. But anyway, for Dominaria, those 2 cards are not propping up the value of the set. The rest of it dumped just too low. There's too many sets to choose from. It's limiting the actual demand for Dominaria, and they just flooded the market with additional boxes that they were likely holding on to in the first place. Rumor is they shorted the first run, and then the second run was like the rest of Dominaria, and they just hyperinflated the price the first time because there wasn't enough to go around. Killed the singles market, killed the online sealed box market, and, you know, I have mixed feelings about that. It's a solution, let's put it that way. A solution to $78 boxes. I would have just threatened legal action against Sports and More, the guy who single-handedly drove the prices down to $78 a box. But if we use that as an example, I mean, the rest of the set better be very playable, very popular, which there's like, what, 7 or 8 other sets to play with at that point? You don't need M19. Nobody needs M19. You could be playing vehicles or energy for all they care. The fact that nothing is cycling out means that these cards are going to be worth like nothing. They're so likely to be dead on arrival that I don't think that some $40 commander cards are going to prop up the price. I really don't. I think it's going to be just like any other core set. It's going to collapse in a hurry. Nobody's going to want it, and I hope for their sake they underprint it because it's just a reprint set. I'm not impressed at all so far by this, so just wait for the EV spreadsheets. They'll be out pretty soon. I mean, it's a month away from July. We don't even have all the cards yet as far as I know, so, you know. Also, the pre-order prices seem pretty inaccurate to me, so I don't know how accurate of an EV I could really make. But watch for that video in the very near future as soon as we get a complete look at what is all in the set. So thanks for watching, and if you don't want to miss more spoilers, hit that subscribe button, because according to my Google Analytics, 52% of you who watch my videos on average are not subscribed. How the hell is that possible? So feel free to click that subscribe button. I assure you it will not kill you, which I assume is the reasoning behind everybody else. What else would make sense? I mean, seriously, 52%? I thought it would be 10%. Anyway, I'll see you guys next video.